Hello and welcome to lockdown day, or whatever it is. I say lockdown, I'm still working, key worker status and all of that, so I'm still working, so I'm not really getting a lot of time. Does mean that when I am around, kind of have to do the parent and kid thing, take the burden off the good lady a little bit. Done a few bits as updates for the bike. It's now MOT. Now road legal, years worth of MOT, no dramas, no advisories. I did have an previous issue with the headlight pointing too far down. That's all sorted. What else have I done? A couple of little bits. The degreening continues, so you can see black and shiny instead of green everywhere. I did think about going for the risers as well. I just can't get that one out. I probably could if I wrestled with it a bit more. I think I've decided to leave it in the silver just to contrast a little bit with the black. Job for today is one of the earlier videos. I think it was 2 or 3, I can't really remember. No, it's later than that. When I had a leak in the carb, rebuilt it, put a new kit in it, redid bits and pieces, found out that on closer inspection it was the fuel intake T-pipe. I nearly bought a set of second-hand carbs to throw in there. Guy was doing a really good deal actually through the Facebook site, through the GPZ500 group, but it kind of forced me to do a bit of a price comparison on eBay. Then it forced me to actually look at what I really needed, and I found that for what, £12. It looks a bit cleaner now because I sanded some of the crud off the edge while it was off and nice and easy. So job for today is to strip down, whip out the carb, separate the two carbs, put that in, put it all back together. Why? Don't really need to do it. The quick fix / bodge that I put in there seems to be holding quite nicely and got it through its MOT okay. Frankly, if I wasn't on lockdown, or if we weren't on lockdown, sorry, I probably wouldn't bother. I would have just left it as it is, but I've got time. I can't really sell it at the moment because of the well, I suppose I could, but it's not really the conditions to have people coming round and trying to social distance whilst selling a bike is going to be a bit tricky. So it keeps me out of trouble, keeps my head in the right place. There's been a few bits over mental well-being throughout the whole shutdown piece. I know that various people use tinkering with bikes for various methodologies. I wouldn't put myself anywhere near the requiring any sort of mental release. However, I enjoy it. It means that I'm not thinking about work for a while. It's a bit of escapism from family commitments as well, and it keeps my brain going in the right direction, so it can't be a bad thing. So today is take off, seat, bearings, tank, get to the carbs. To get to the carbs I'm going to have to take the airbox off again, take that out. I'm quite practiced at that now. Take the carb out, have a bit of a look at the carb. This is a lazy starter. I might try it. It's a lazy starter, I think, for 2 reasons. One, the fuel pipe for it is really long, so I think it takes a while to get the fuel through to the carb. The reason it's long is because if I shorten it on its current tracking, it kinks, so it will restrict the fuel flow. So I'm going to have a look at that while I'm doing it as well. Also, if I remember correctly, and I think I do, I haven't looked through the videos yet, the 2 vacuum pipe houses, if you like, from the carb, only one of them is in use and the other one is still open, so I think it's trying to suck through the fuel but sucking a load of air in as well. So I think that once it's running it's fine, but it's getting it going, and it's a bit gappy in the acceleration when you first start. So bearing in mind it hasn't started for 3 days now. I think I started it midweek just to make sure it still works. Choke. Doesn't bit of a bugger to start, and I think that's fuel getting through rather than spark. But as you can see, once it's up and going, ignition on, spark straight back in. So just a lazy starter. So turn it off so I don't want to burn myself. I'll have a look today at, I think, trying to reduce the flex on the fuel, the length of the fuel pipe, because it is ridiculously long at the moment. I might stick the video on just to show how long it currently has to be to meet the bend into the tank. Yeah, so relatively simple day. I'll dip in and out. I won't film it all, mostly because I'll be sorting out kids and stuff throughout, which, believe me, you don't want to see. Cool, happy. Okay, so fairings off, tank off, over in a bit of a graveyard. I was wrong when it comes to the vacuum, so there is only one on and the other is covered. So yeah, so I don't think it's a vacuum issue, but you can see how long fuel pipe I've ended up with going into the carbs. Now, bearing in mind this is quite, it's only cheap stuff, but it's quite reinforced. I don't want to bend it, so I've gone for a long slow bends, but that is, you know, that is a ludicrously long fuel pipe, so I'm going to have to do something with that. I've also routed it up around the back of, and I think actually save a little bit when I put this back together. I'm going to run it through here. Can't quite see my bodge repair, so there is a Jubilee clip on that, just taking it off. Right. I'll put it in with bits and pieces. Yeah, so carry on stripping down, side bits off, airbox off, carb out, and then I'll probably do the rest indoors because it's warmer. It's a bit chilly today. Cool. Okay, so carb out in well practiced fashion. You can see the repair or the bodge that I did in terms of steel stick, that's what I was looking for, around the crack. The crack was down the edge of that, so just checking that looks mostly like that. Yep. So let's work out how to split this apart. Happy days. Okay, so quicker job than I anticipated actually. Took out the 4 screws, took that off, which gave a bit of flex. Undid these two, had to take off the hose to do that, to give it a little bit of freedom there. Didn't bother undoing them on that side, and undid the choke slide, which is now all back on and nice and loose. It's giving me a little bit of space. That's the old one there with the slight bodge on it. It was holding fine, I wasn't bothered about it, but eventually I'm going to sell this, so it's nice to do it properly. There's only about 12-13 quid for the replacement. Replacement in, working. Obviously, I don't know if I'm going to bother digging out to show, but it's on an earlier video, but effectively there was a split along the inside of the T-valve there, so that's it. Moving fine. While I had this off, you would have seen earlier it's quite grungy, so just with a drill and a wire disc, I suppose, sanding disc, just give that a rub down just to get rid of the worst of the rust on it. Doesn't do anything, no one's ever going to see it. Yeah, so now to get it back in, just contemplating whether or not to swap over the vacuum holes, but I'll square it away. Cool, back later. Okay, so that's everything back on. Fuel tank seated but not secured. Double check because I annoyed myself earlier. Yeah, that's the fuel tap on by having a decent look from the side. That's how much fuel pipe that I've taken off, which I think is just over half of it, which I'm hoping will cure some of the issues I've had. Let's see if we can get it to start. Might be a bit clunky because the carbs have got to fill up first before it does anything spectacular. Let's see. Getting there, fuel's getting through. Around the 20 side, but it was setting, I'm sure. Now I did remember to speak up a little bit while the engine's running, but I think I'll let that settle a bit. The truth in the pudding is going to be, proof in the pudding is going to be leaving it and seeing if it starts up happy tomorrow. As much as anything else, but happy with that. That's all done. Chuck all the fairings back on and then a quick chat before I put her away. Okay, so everything's back on, bike back in the garage. I've taken the seat off, thought I might as well chuck the battery on a bit of charge because it's not done many miles at all. Just sat and I've started it for a few seconds each time. Yeah, showing up as charging there. I don't think it really needs it, but might as well do. Just grab the key. Straight in. Like I said before, the test is going to be leaving it fallow for a little while, so I'll leave the fuel on, I'll leave it to charge overnight, and I'll give it a go tomorrow. Might put a separate video up tomorrow because you know what the weather's like, depending on what we're up to. Give it a bit of a polish up. Not that it particularly needs it, but it has got a bit dusty and crappy in here, and I might take some sale photos, although obviously not going to be selling it until this coronavirus stuff clears off, so at least a couple of weeks yet. Cool. Might take it to work on one day rather than a big boy. We'll see. And they've got a couple of guys at work that want to check it out, so probably take it in. Cool, catch you later.